Last week we talked about the Roman Republic, and that evolved into the Roman Empire with the death of Julius Caesar. You recall we discussed that was the turning point, the actual end of the Roman Republic, when Caesar declared himself dictator for life. Well, when Caesar was murdered, it did throw Rome into chaos for a few years until his great nephew took over, and that entered them into a period known as the Pax Romana. That was a period of about 200 years, and Pax Romana means Roman peace in Latin. And it did start with Augustus Caesar. His real name was Octavian, but he took the title Augustus. And you can see, yes, that is where the month name of August comes from. And in fact, July comes from Julian or Julius Caesar. Augustus, though, he also started a fire brigade, like a fire house with firemen, professional, and a police force. This was also a period when trade and business grew, and so the empire really did grow. The army was very powerful, and again, that's called the Pax Romana. Here you can see the Roman soldiers. They did have their shields, and when they put them real tight together like that, they formed what was called a tortoise shell, and that allowed them to move and be still fully protected. And you can see the different styles of helmets, and the centurions wore this. They were more in charge, and that was so their men could see them in battle. They not only fought, but they also built the roads. They carried tools with them, built forts, the roads, and like bridges and things. So with the expansion, they really surrounded the entire Mediterranean. If you recall, here is the beginning city of Rome, and it did expand in all directions, 3 continents to surround the Mediterranean. So Rome had a very powerful, well-trained army. They conquered lands all around the Mediterranean, and people actually liked being part of the Roman Empire. They felt protected by the armies, and so they did follow the Roman laws. Rome was good to the people that they conquered. So, Roman emperors. An emperor is a ruler of an empire. There were 71 total emperors in the 500 years of the Roman Empire. Some were good ones, and some were crazy bad. You can read up on that. They were very crazy, literally. So it went from Augustus Caesar being the first one, emperor, all the way to Emperor Constantine. Here's some statues of many of them. I'm sure when they were in charge, they had statues made of themselves. One of the Roman famous places, achievements during that time period, the empire time, was the Colosseum. It's like a modern day sports arena, and because it could seat up to 50,000 people. And they had popular events involving gladiators, although those were often gory battles, violent to the death. This is a picture from the famous movie Gladiator. Here was one of the particularly violent emperors, Commodus. He loved the gladiator games, and thumbs up meant the gladiator would live for another battle. Thumbs down meant he would die. So if you go to Rome today, this is what the Colosseum actually looks like. It's not completely intact. Of course, it's about 3,000 years old, so maybe 2,000 years old. So nearing the end of the empire, we had a series of poor emperors with a lot of fighting within the Roman army. Each section of the army wanted to put their own general in charge to be emperor. Also, a new religion begins to divide some of the Romans, and that religion's Christianity. We will talk about that next week. But Emperor Diocletian, he split the large Roman Empire. It was so huge, he thought it would best be split in half, with the western and eastern half. So that helped really split it, led to a decline. But Emperor Constantine, he united the empire again, but he moved the capital city out from Rome to the eastern side, and he named the city after himself, Constantinople. So the fall of the Roman Empire was due to bad leadership, invaders into Rome. You can see that. That's what these arrows are here. The split into the two halves contributed to the fall of the empire, as did Christianity. So in summary, the Roman Empire was one of the world's most powerful empires. The empire was land surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, and the Roman Empire lasted nearly 500 years.